Good morning, students. At the last turn, we discussed the Gauss law and we found that it was an alternate method to find the electric field, and we did it for point charge. In that case, we determined the electric field applying the Gauss law. Now, let us try to find the electric field for different charges using Gauss law. So, different charges means the distribution of the charge is different. So, first case, let us try to find the electric field with the help of Gauss law when we are considering the line charge. And yesterday we came to know, first of all, the first step that we have to follow was the identification of the Gaussian surface. So, in this case also we will try to find Gaussian surface first, and the probable Gaussian surface in the case of line charge may be the cylindrical surface. Okay. Consider the coordinate geometry according to that. The density of the line charge is rho L. But there are some limitation of Gauss law, that is E must be symmetrical. So, we have to consider for line charge distribution of infinite length only, because E should be normal to the Gaussian surface. So, according to that, the infinite charge distribution is there. Consider the case Z is equal to 0 and Z is equal to L. The Gaussian surface is of L length. Okay, the length of this surface is L, and this is of infinite length. Now, consider any surface at the cylinder, Gaussian surface. Consider any small area at that. From this area, the direction of radial vector will be arrow, and we know that the flux density is also normal to the surface. So, E should also be normal to the surface, and area vector is also normal to the surface. So, in this case, D and arrow will be in the same direction. Here, if we will consider any area, it will be minus AZ, and if it will consider here, then it will be plus AZ. So, do not worry about this, both will be cancelled out, the net value, and this will be only considered the active area for electric flux density. So, according to the Gauss law, we discussed that D dot the small area dA will be equal to the charge enclosed, and in the case of line distribution, the charge enclosed is rho L. If we are considering the Gaussian surface length is L, then this is the total charge enclosed by this Gaussian surface. You can say charge enclosed. Okay. So, the first thing is that we should know the area vector and D vector, both of them. So, let us try to find dA in this case. So, to find dA, This is rho, radial vector, and the direction of rho is in the direction of arrow. This is, if you are considering any point here, then this angle is phi. So this angle will be, the angle covered by this small area will be d phi. Hope it is meaningful. This is rho and this is d phi, and this arc will be rho d phi, because we have to consider at the cane, consider at this, we have to consider this length and from the center. So this arc will be radius d phi. So according to that, it will be rho d phi and this is dz. So area will be rho d phi dz, and the area vector will be in the direction of arrow. Okay. And what's about d? D will be in the direction of arrow. So it should be, again we can write d rho. Hopefully it is meaningful, in the direction of arrow. So according to the Gauss law, put the value here, surface d should be d rho in the direction of arrow, dot ds should be rho d phi dz in the direction of arrow. It should be charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface of length L. Okay. Now arrow and dot arrow, it will give you 1. So from there you can write d rho d phi dz for surface is equal to rho L of length L. Okay. What we can find throughout the surface? Rho is constant, that is radius of the cylinder. The variable is only phi, from x in the direction of x it is 0, and it is varying from 0 to 2 pi, and dz is varying from 0 to L. So in that case we can write d rho d phi dz is equal to rho L with length L. D phi rho, it can be d rho d phi can be 0 to 2 pi, z can be 0 to L. For different length we can find is equal to rho L into L. Simplify this, rho 2 pi L is equal to rho L L. L will be cancelled out from here. D rho will be rho L divided by 2 pi rho. Okay. What is this? This is the relationship that we derived in the case of line charge electric flux density without using Gauss law. Now with the help of Gauss law we derived it again, and from here if we continue it, then we can say E will be equal to the rho L, because D is equal to epsilon E, so epsilon will come here, 2 pi epsilon rho. We have already derived this relationship previously. So in the case of line charge, the electric field will be derived with the help of Gauss law, and electric flux density will be obtained with the help of this, and with the help of each other we can find one another. Now consider an infinite charge that is distributed on the sheet. So consider, let us line charge, after that we can consider infinite sheet charge. Okay, in that case consider an infinite sheet charge okay, and try to draw the coordinate here for to make this explanation simpler. X, Y and Z. This is the sheet charge of infinite length. Now we have to draw the Gaussian surface first to find the electric field according to the Gauss law. So what type of Gaussian surface can be here? In the point charge, we obtained that the spherical Gaussian surface was possible. At every point of the sphere, the electric field was symmetrical due to the constant radius. In the case of line charge, the cylindrical Gaussian surface was applicable, and in this case, if we think, then we find that cuboid type Gaussian surface can be applicable. So draw a cuboid of this in the middle, forming like that. Okay, this charge is in the middle, this charge. To understand this figure, consider this is the Gaussian surface, cuboidal Gaussian surface. Charge distribution is there between these two ends in the middle. So charge sheet is inside, and this is our Gaussian surface. Okay. So in this case, the area vector of this surface will be a positive z here. The bottom one, a minus z, will be here. There are 6 surfaces in a cuboid. However, we don't have to worry about all 6 surfaces. Just concentrate which surfaces can be discarded for analysis. So for that purpose, we know that A should be in the direction of area vector, E direction, and area vector direction should be same to make the flux non-zero. And for this direction, the area vector is in this direction. Consider the cuboid once again here. Area vector for the surface is in this direction. Due to positive charge distribution, the field will be in this direction. Both will be in the same direction. Both are at 90 degree. So E dot dA, E or D dot ds, we can say D dot ds will give you 0. Similarly, for the surface just opposite to that will give you 0. This will give you 0 whenever the E and ds are normal to each other. The D dot ds will be 0. But think in the case of top surface and bottom surface. At the top surface, the area vector will be towards the outside of the surface, normal to the plane, and the direction of E is upward due to the plus positive charge. So both are in the same direction. So D dot dA, you will get any positive value. Okay. However, at the bottom side, the direction of the area is similar case will be there for the bottom direction. So in the case of top and bottom, we can consider the d dot ds. However, for remaining surfaces, it cannot be required to evaluate. So if we have to proceed, then we have to just consider the top and bottom surfaces. So once we came to know that we have to consider only top and bottom surface, from there we can say flux will be equal to the d dot dA is, or dA we can say, okay, d dot dA for the top surface and plus d dot ds for the bottom surface, we can say. And for the top surface, D and E are both are in the same direction. So it should be d total surface area at the top. And similarly for the bottom surface, the area vector is, once we have considered the area vector in this direction positive, then the area vector in the downwards will be negative. And the direction of field we have considered positive to the upwards, then it should be negative towards the downward. So in that case, the bottom one will be also d dot dA, because both are in the same direction. So it should be just cos 0 will be 1. So it should be dA cos angle of between these two, and the angle of between these two is 0. So it should be dA. From here we can say 2dA will be the total flux, and we know that if we can find the total charge enclosed, then what we can say, the rho is into A total surface area at the top, it should give us the total charge enclosed by this cuboid, and from here we can say D is equal to rho s by 2, A will be cancelled out, it is rho s by 2. Okay, this is important relation that we have derived in the case of the infinite charge sheet distribution. And from here if we find E, then it can be rho s by 2, epsilon should be here, so it should be here epsilon. So the E will be rho s by 2 epsilon, and D will be rho s by 2. That is for infinite sheet charge. These two relations we have already derived in the case of the electric field finding without the using of the Gauss law. Now we verified with the help of Gauss law electric field in the case of line charge distribution, in the case of infinite sheet charge distribution. Now let us consider the spherical surface charge. It means the charge is distributed at the surface of the sphere we are not talking about the distribution throughout the volume of the sphere, just at the surface of the sphere. So in this case we can analyze and find the Gaussian surface will be spherical also. So there is possibility we can consider the radius of this as A. This is the radius of the spherical surface of the charge distribution. Now let us consider inside of the sphere, at the sphere, and outside of the sphere the cases of the electric field. So inside this sphere, just consider a surface of radius small r. So consider r is less than a. In that case, if we wish to find the total flux enclosed by this surface that we have assumed, then we can say in this case Q enclosed will be 0, as there are no charge enclosed by this surface that we have assumed. So we can say flux will be 0, and we can say it means in any conducting surface charge distribution inside a conductor, there is no electric field and there is no flux inside for a perfect conductor. Okay, so the final conclusion, we can say there is no electric field inside for a perfect conductor. Now consider the next situation when R can be greater than A. We will come to A later. Just consider this condition when R can be greater than A. Okay, in this case the charge enclosed that we have, okay, charge enclosed will be equal to the surface charge density into the surface area. You can say total surface area. So surface charge density is rho s. The surface area of the spherical body is 4 pi r square. However, the charge enclosed by the surface of radius a, so we will consider 4 pi r a square. Okay, and we know that the flux is d dot, here we can consider ds because dA and it will be tally. So ds for the closed surface, and in the spherical case we can say ds can be written as, last day we discussed same thing with the help of dl written in the spherical coordinate system. So that was r square sine theta d theta and d phi. I think if I am right, this was the ds written yesterday, and this is the ds that we can find in the direction of radial vector. Okay, so it is ds, and if we will put it here, then it will be d r square, both will be in the same direction. So cosine of 0 being in the same direction will be 1. So just we will put this value r square sine theta d theta d phi, where in the spherical case phi vary from 0 to 2 pi and theta vary from 0 to pi. Okay, further simplify this, there is no phi dependent term, so it should be 2 pi, integration of this will give you 2 pi, and remaining things, this can be considered as constant for the sphere. So r square will be outside, sine theta will be minus cos theta, and from 0 to pi it will give you, just last time, let me check either it is coming or not, it will give you minus 1 minus minus 1, so it should it will give you 2 d times 4 pi r square, it is the total flux. Okay, and that will be equal to the d 4 pi r square, it will be equal to the charge enclosed that we have written here already. Rho is 4 pi a square. So from here we can find 4 pi cancelled out. Charge density, surface charge density divided by r square. This is the flux density in the case of spherical surface charge. And from here, if we will try to find E, then it will be rho is a square by epsilon r square. This is electric field in the case of spherical surface charge. Okay, from here what we can say, if our radius is equal to the A, this Gaussian surface lies at the surface of the sphere, then it will be A, and in that case it will be cancelled out. E will be constant, rho s by epsilon, and D will be constant, that will be rho s. So if we wish to plot between E and x, x is the radius of the Gaussian surface, then in that case we can say x and E, then we can find inside the spherical shell it is 0 up to where? Up to A, it is 0, and at A it is maximum, that is rho s by epsilon. Here it is rho s by epsilon, that is maximum at the surface. After that, as we increase the radius, as we are going away from here, it is inversely decreasing with the square term. So E will be decreasing like that. So up to the surface of the sphere, the electric field that is inside is equal to 0. At the surface it is rho s by epsilon. Outside of the surface it is varying like that. E is proportional to 1 by r square. Here it is E is 0. Here is rho s by epsilon. So in this case we can say the maximum, the E is maximum at surface of the charge, and inside 0, outside it varies like that.